Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you are. I am in Pokhara, Nepal. So many things happened over the past few days. The Africa Russian summit, and then also the EFF's 10th anniversary celebration. I watched both. So I don't want to talk about the African Russian summit today, but the EFF celebration, whoa, that was on another level. I did not expect such a spectacular event. Um, and I must admit, Julius Malema, that dude is on fire. And of course, when he's wearing his red outfit and you have the whole stadium, it's just red. It's just, I tell you, it's fire, it's passion. So I'm not an EFF supporter. And I don't even know why I should say that because that's irrelevant to what I want to talk about. But some people will get their panties in a knot. Oh, yeah. Not that there's anything wrong in being an EFF supporter. I'm just not an EFF supporter. Although I must say, I've always liked Julius Malema when he was with the ANC, the youth group, etc., because he has always been a very dynamic, passionate, focused person. And it could be also because he's young, he's a lion. To me, he represents those kind of African men like him. And what is this one that just spoke at the African summit from Niger? The 35-year-old, oh, I can't remember now. But anyway, these kind of guys, this to me is when you talk about Africa, this is the kind of leaders I see, like very dynamic, like a lion, because the lion is Africa. Africa is represented by the lion. Two things: the lion and the drum beat. So the lion is that leadership, that assertiveness. It's not even aggression. That assertiveness. And the drum beat, of course, is the heartbeat of Africa, and the heartbeat is is the soul. So I feel like Julius Malema, irrespective of what you may think of him, I don't care. This is my opinion because this is my channel. And this is my opinion, which I already said. But anyway, I think this kind of guy is that I would hope for, especially South Africa. Not his policies, well, some of them, not all of them, because again, there's many layers to people and policies. Some of the policies I totally agree with. Some of his policies I'm like, garlic, cannot, okay? But he's the kind of person that I would call a benevolent dictator. Now, Malaysia had such a dictator, Mahathir Mohamad. Of course, some people are going to again also be up in arms because I say dictator. I don't know, in my opinion, even Singapore is a dictatorship, but it's a benevolent dictatorship. Okay, yeah, maybe you don't think so, but I'm just telling you that. Because some countries, the people are not ready for a true democracy, not even a social democracy. Not ready. So you do need a benevolent dictator like Mahathir Mohamad. I respect that man a lot, not now with his old age, but how he built Malaysia. Because we came to Malaysia in 1990 and Malaysia was a jungle. It was so backward. Because remember, I came from apartheid South Africa, and apartheid South Africa was a first world country for some of us. Well, not even for me. For some people, the white people, it was very first world. The rest, we were like not even third world. We were just in the dark world. But when I came to Malaysia in the 90s, it was like 20 years behind South Africa. I watched Mahathir bully, force Malaysians, dragging, kicking, and screaming into the 21st century. His Vision 2020 could have been realized if he had stayed in power. Of course, that didn't happen because those who followed him, they are not him. Again, that man is a lion. They are not him. One was so corrupt, the other one was he was grandpa, like did nothing for the country. And others were just stooges. But when I look at Malema, this is the kind of guy that I feel if if he just had the right policies. But that is the kind of character that the African, especially the South African, needs, is that kind of very powerful kind of man. Because Cyril is a mohom. He's a mohom. Now, if you were to have Malema, let's say as president of the ANC, with all the ANC policies, I don't know, I just think there would be a little bit more progress because we all know Cyril is being controlled by the party. Cyril has a good heart, but he's a muhum. His heart is in the right place. He knows what's right for South Africa, but because he has to listen to the party, and I'm sure they bully him, and because he's such a moho, he just gives in. Malema would never do that. They would never dare bully Malema or put him in a corner. He'll be putting them in a corner. But unfortunately, Malema's with EFF. I mean, unfortunately for those who do not support EFF, or of course for those who do support, you have the right leader. Very powerful, dynamic leader. Very, very. Okay, I won't even watch a whole ANC rally or what do you call it, or like any big event of ANC because it's so boring. But whoa, this one was, oh man, it was on another level. And the supporters, you could feel the energy. Okay, now the other thing is the famous song or infamous song or chant, kill the Boer, or the Boers, the way they say, but I'm just going to, because I want to speak properly, kill the Boer. That has everybody on Twitter up in arms, up to Elon Musk. Well, it would, because Elon Musk is South African. I guess he has to give his opinion. Now, let me just give some context to this song, this chant. This is a chant, it was a chant and a song during the apartheid struggle that non-whites always chanted and sang. It's a freedom song. And the context of the song is kill the Boer. So Boer in this context means the apartheid system / white domination. It does not mean the individual person. Okay? This is what it means. Now, I know that because I used to be an activist. I also used to sing and chant that chant because I would kill the apartheid system, kill white domination. That's what it meant to me. I must admit, I used to feel a bit not too comfortable because the fact that I know that Boer is also an individual race, or it can be an individual. But because I knew that in this context, it had nothing to do with individual. We were fighting the system. We were not fighting the white man. We were fighting the system. But of course, because we are human beings, there are going to be those who don't care about the context. They're just going to look at it as individuals. So to them, it's like kill that white person or kill that Boer, because not all white people are Boers. A Boer is a name for certain race in South Africa, but it also means farmer because it's from the Dutch word. And of course, the Portuguese community in South Africa, they always laugh because burra in Portuguese means donkey. And you know the sentiments between the Portuguese South Africans and the Boer in South Africa. They don't like each other. So the Portuguese, of course, think that that Boer is fitting because that's how they view the Boer, you know, as donkeys, like very stubborn. Stubborn as an ass. Okay, right. Anyway, so yes, of course, everyone is up in arms because they are saying he's inciting violence, genocide against white people, blah, 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 blah. Uh, I don't think so because I know, like I said, during the struggle, that was not what it meant. And I know Malema, although he's younger than me, he would know that because he was one of the main fighters in the struggle. The problem with that is do we supporters know that? Or do other people in South Africa know this? Because it's obvious that people in other countries don't know that because based on Twitter, because that's all I had to do. I was spending the whole day yesterday just having to explain this over and over and over to people, what it means. But I do understand, yes, there are going to be individuals that's going to just take it as at face value because they don't know the history of it and they don't know what it means. It's the same like the word kafir that I have a lot of videos out on that about the actual meaning, the origin of the word, and also of the word Negro. My Portuguese friends, y'all know what Negro means. It's got nothing to do with skin color. But, you know, anyway, let's see how YouTube censors this video or doesn't send it out, you know, the algorithms, because I'm using words that I'm not supposed to use. Anyway, okay. So I want to read this tweet that someone made on Twitter, which I feel is quite profound. He said, I'm less bothered by the chant and ritual song, which holds a prominent place in Black South African culture and ending brutal apartheid. Based. Okay, that's fact. So it holds a prominent place in Black South African culture and ending brutal apartheid than the actual farm attacks that have been happening continuously for over a decade. Okay, yeah, so what was happening is these individuals, well, some say that some individuals would attack farmers, killing them because they would use the song as a justification. Some say that no, these were it's just acts of crime, and it doesn't matter what color you were. If people are going to attack you, they attack you, they rob you, they kill you. Both are right, in my opinion, because there are cases when it was just a simple crime, just because the perpetrators were black and the victims were white, farmers or just white. It had nothing to do with genocide, it was just a crime. But then on other occasions, it is also true that it was a black on white crime, that it was racially motivated. So there's like two sides about it. This person continues, I doubt the event was a direct cause of the recent murder. Okay, so they're talking about someone a white man just got killed yesterday or because some black people hijacked him. And so this person says, I doubt the event was a direct cause of the recent murder, which possible, because even Indians, blacks, coloreds, Chinese, all other races also get hijacked and killed, and it had nothing to do with race. It's like I say, it's just a crime. Okay. I appreciate that farm attacks have been happening to not just white but black farmers too. True. So how can it be genocide? Again, to reiterate, some cases it could just be to kill white people. In other cases, it could just be a crime. Okay, but the venom has been, and understandably so, based on history, pushed towards the white South Africa based, which is also true. Okay. What I also want to just add before I read the last sentence is that what I also don't support is that no one is coming out and addressing this issue publicly, like stating, like what I'm doing now, saying when it comes to the genocide. I can't use my other hand because it's holding the laptop. The genocide, the white genocide, is no one, when I say no one, I mean politicians are coming forward and explaining the situation that yes, sometimes it is just racially motivated. Sometimes it's just crime. But there is no genocide because I can tell you now, the population, the white population in South Africa is probably 10%, which is still more than the colored, like my race population. And it's very easy to kill 10% of a population. Very easy. So it's not happening. But if the politicians or the government is not addressing the issue, people are going to speculate, people are going to say what they want to say. And people are going to continue doing it. Those who are doing it as a genocide, they're going to keep doing it. It's not being addressed. Okay? But this last sentence of this guy, he says, okay, not the last, but here he says, my theory here is that the chant and ritual song should perhaps be realigned to push a more progressive, uniting narrative. I am 100% on board with this. 100% on board. That we need to push a more progressive, uniting narrative, and we can still use the same song or the same chant. How are we going to do that? I don't know. Somebody clever will know. I'm not clever. I don't know. Just giving one stupid suggestion would be to educate people on what the chant really means and what in this context the word Boer really means, which is the same opinion I have about the word kafir. It has to be reclaimed because to be chained and be victimized by a word is not healthy. It is not healthy. It is just a word. But if the word, in this case, is being used out of context anyway, then it has to be reclaimed. Stupid opinion, but that's my opinion. And like I said, it's my channel. So put it in your pipe and smoke it. Okay. But I do agree that perhaps it should be realigned to push a more positive narrative because we should unite. Yes, we're all different colors, different shapes, different races, different ethnicities. We are the rainbow nation, after all. And the rainbow is always united. You don't see the purple flying that way and then the red. No, it's a cohesive thing. So we should maybe work towards that. And then he says, otherwise things will never get better. True. Based. More maturity is needed here. Less us, less them. Couldn't have said it better. Anyway, that is just my opinion for the day. So have a good day. Cheers.